This is Plant-Based Briefing, the VegNews guide to Just Egg, plus 5 excellent recipes, by Tanya Flink at VegNews.com. And I'm Marian Erickson, and this is the curated content plant-based podcast where I narrate a variety of articles on healthy, compassionate, and sustainable living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And today's article is timely, I think, because, at least in the U.S., there's an egg shortage because of the avian flu. Over 50 million helpless birds have been killed in 2022 alone in the U.S. in efforts to contain the latest avian flu. It is horrific. All I hear are people complaining about the lack of availability of eggs and how expensive eggs they can find are. No consideration at all for the poor birds that we are imprisoning and torturing and killing with things like ventilation shutdown, where we're basically cooking them alive slowly. It's all just horrific. Anyway, hopefully people are learning to get away from eggs because they're incredibly unhealthy as well. I've got a number of episodes on that. But there are also a number of alternatives to eggs. In baking, you can use flaxseed, applesauce. There's a number of them, and I'll put a link in the show notes. And also, tofu scramble is delicious, but Just Egg is another example of a product you can buy made from mung beans, and it scrambles up just like eggs. It's delicious. Anyway, today's episode is from VegNews.com. They were launched in 2000, and they're the largest vegan media brand in the world. They have amazing content. I recommend following them on social media. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. The VegNews Guide to Just Egg, plus 5 excellent recipes, by Tanya Flink at VegNews.com. Just Egg can scramble, bake, and fry. Is there anything this vegan egg replacer can't do? For decades, tofu was the dominant alternative for vegan eggs. Sure, a block of soy can scramble nicely and blend into a passable quiche, but the taste and texture were never quite spot on to the chicken egg-based dishes of our past. Just, formerly Hampton Creek, set out to change that. After a number of trial products ranging from vegan mayonnaise to cookie dough, the brand finally settled on the innovation most likely to change the world: a vegan egg replacement that could scramble, bake, and fry just as well as its bird-based inspiration. Just Egg is a veritable game changer, not just for vegans craving familiar comforts, but for the food service industry and the planet. The recognizable yellow bottle has become a mainstay on most supermarket shelves, integrated itself onto omnivore restaurant and cafe menus, and can even be seen in commercials during primetime television. We like to think the folks at Just conjured up some vegan magic, but the truth is, there's a good amount of food science and research that went into this revolutionary plant-based product. Here's everything you need to know about Just Egg, plus 5 fantastic recipes to use it. What is Just Egg? Just Egg is a mung bean-based vegan egg substitute. The inaugural product comes in a bottled, liquid form that can be scrambled, fried, and baked in much the same way a whole chicken egg can. Subsequent products include folded egg patties, perfect for sandwiches and toast, and sous vide bites. Think bite-sized baked egg cups similar to Starbucks egg bites you can find in the pastry case. While liquid Just Egg can replace chicken eggs in a one-for-one swap in many culinary applications, note that it cannot replace egg whites. For egg white substitutes, give aquafaba or chickpea brine a try. Just Egg nutrition. Unlike many plant-based alternatives, Just Egg doesn't rely on soy. The main ingredient is mung bean protein isolate. The unexpected base supposedly lends itself to Just Egg's versatility. We won't sugarcoat it, though. Just is a product of scientific innovation and consequently is made from a handful of ingredients you can't find at the store. In addition to mung bean, Just contains water, canola oil, and less than 2% of dehydrated onion, vegan natural flavors, soy lecithin, salt, potassium citrate, sugar, tapioca syrup, gel and gum, and a few preservatives. Don't let that shock you. The ingredient list is in line with many plant-based products, so if you have Impossible patties in your fridge or vegan chicken nuggets in your freezer, you'll likely find they contain the same, as do countless vegan and non-vegan packaged goods. What Just Egg doesn't contain is cholesterol, trans fat, or animal-based hormones. Chicken eggs can't claim the same. Are Just Eggs healthy? Healthy is a relative term, and it all depends on an individual's definition. If healthy to you means only ingredients you recognize, you may want to stick to your tofu scrambles and chickpea flour omelet. However, if healthy means no hormones or cholesterol and a decent macronutrient profile, then Just Egg will fit your standards just fine. A 3-tablespoon serving of liquid Just Egg contains 70 calories, 5 grams of unsaturated fat, 170 milligrams of sodium, and 5 grams of protein. In comparison, a large chicken egg, the standard size, also contains 70 calories, in addition to 5 grams of total fat, 1.5 grams of harmful saturated fat, 185 grams of cholesterol, 70 milligrams of sodium, and 6 grams of protein. What isn't noted on chicken egg nutrition labels is the FDA allowance for trans fat. Any food with 0.5 grams or less can claim to contain 0 grams of trans fat. So let's say a chicken egg contains 0.4 grams. If you ate 2 eggs, you'd be up to 0.8 grams of this damaging fat, completely ignorant of the fact. While 0.8 grams may seem negligible, the USDA does not offer a minimum amount for trans fat. Any amount can be harmful, and the U.S. dietary guidelines recommend to keep consumption, quote, as little as possible, unquote, or not at all. This is due to the risk trans fat consumption poses for coronary heart disease. Like most processed plant-based products, Just Egg is a significantly healthier option than its animal-based counterpart and can be a part of a healthy diet when consumed in moderation. What's wrong with chicken eggs? The global human population consumes 1.4 trillion chicken eggs annually. This level of consumption requires 93 million acres of land and 51 billion gallons of water to sustain, according to Just. To break that down, that's 53 gallons of water per chicken egg. Yes, some of that is water for the chickens, but the vast majority of that is dedicated to growing the feed needed to raise egg-laying hens. Essentially, we're growing food to produce food, which ultimately results in a dramatic loss of resources. By eliminating the chicken and making eggs from plants, Just claims to use 98% less water than conventional chicken egg production. The brand also claims to use 86% less land and emit 93% fewer carbon dioxide emissions. According to estimates suggested by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, the world will have to produce 60% more food to feed an expected global population of 9.3 billion in 2050 if we continue with our current animal-based consumption rates. That simply doesn't seem sustainable or possible, given the fact that we cannot conjure up more land to meet those demands. Going plant-based is a viable solution, and the Just Egg revolution is helping to curtail the incessant use of our natural resources. No, this single product won't save the world. It's going to take a lot more than a morning scramble, but it is helping to shift the mainstream perspective in the right direction. 5 vegan Just Egg recipes. Just Egg comes in 3 varieties: the original liquid egg, folded, and sous vide bites. Here are 5 vegan Just Egg recipes to make for yourself, your family, and party guests, all linked below. Egg sushi, chorizo egg muffins, vegan breakfast egg and potatoes, peanut butter jelly bread, and vegan pancakes. You just listened to the VegNews Guide to Just Egg, plus 5 excellent recipes by Tanya Flink at VegNews.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and we love the liquid Just Egg. And note that you can freeze it, so if you buy a bunch on sale or haven't used it before the expiration date, just throw it in the freezer and get it out and run hot water over it, and it's good as new. Also, I just came across a recipe from veganrisha.com for a vegan omelet with mung bean egg. I haven't made it yet, but I thought, wow, this looks exactly like the liquid Just Egg. I'll put a link to this in the show notes. It looks really simple. Basically, you soak the mung beans overnight and blend them up in a blender with some other seasonings, and you've got the liquid that you need to make an omelet or scrambled eggs. Anyway, please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.